Welcome once again to your update from the City of New Hope. Mayor Kathi Hemken joining us once again to give us an update of what's new in the City of New Hope. Welcome, Mayor. How are you today?
Hi, Dave. Just fine. It's a gorgeous day out today.
It is fantastic. I like the fall colors behind you there. That's one of the looks you'll see if you head over to the golf course, and we'll talk about the course in just a minute. But first, let's start with an event coming up, a job fair. That's something we've talked about a few times here. To preview it, it's getting close. Tell us again why this event is important for the city.
Well, it's October 13th, and it's from 10 to 1. What we're doing is trying to bring businesses in and help people who are looking for a job to be able to go to a lot of those businesses in New Hope and get some applications and apply to see if it's something that works for them. So we've also gone to the schools and talked to the principal about letting some of the kids come to that job fair, and the adult education, we've gone to them. And so we're hoping that this first one that we're doing is going to be a success. There's about 25 businesses that are there, and all we need is people looking for a job.
Very good. If you want to go to the city's website, newhopemn.gov, you can find out more about that event. Curbside Appeal program. Sounds like we have a few more residents that have signed up.
We have, there's 2 more, so now we're up to 9. This is such a great program, and I've gone around to see what some of them are doing. Some of the projects are small, a door with windows or just some side panels to the door, and some of them are pretty large. So it's just kind of nice to see that people are fixing up their houses for the curb appeal.
Let's move on to Stetter Site Housing, and a property that's getting fixed up and going to change is 4201 Boone. Give us an update on the old Treehouse Site. Looks like continued work happening there.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I had no clue about. So after they removed all the hazardous materials from the house, they have to shut off the power and the water and disconnect that. And so that's all been done. So now they can actually start with the demolition. So this week they should be actually digging up some of those boulders, setting them aside. I understand the city's going to take a lot of them, and they'll start demoing the property.
Next up is the Business Networking Group. They've got an event coming up in early November. Tell us about the great partner that is part of that event.
It's going to be November 2nd, and it's at 2 o'clock. It's going to be at Prism. And we don't usually go outside the city for the Business Networking Group, but Prism really does service a lot of New Hope. And because they're in Golden Valley, we're going to have it there, and we can get a little tour of what's going on at Prism and just a little update of where they are. So this is one of the few ones that we have out of the city, but it should be a really interesting event.
Yeah, great community partner. Let's talk building permits and inspections. We begin by talking about some amazing numbers. Tell us what's happened in the last month here. Everyone's been busy.
So this, just in the month of September, this is just fascinating to me. We've done 207 permits. So these are permits, either building, electrical, mechanical, 207 of them, to the tune of over $1 million in upgrades that they're getting these permits for. 434 inspections that have been done, and these are rental inspections, and there are point of sale inspections, plus the inspections on some of the permits that they've issued.
Sure.
So these guys have really been out there and being busy, and there's lots of stuff going on, a lot of building going on in New Hope.
That's good to hear. Hats off to that crew for getting all of that work in. One of the properties that's under this area as well is at 7900 Bass Lake Road, the Shell station there. And it sounds like some good news as maybe things are going to move ahead.
Oh gosh, we hope so. You know, they closed, and then they did all that demo inside, and then everything just stopped, and all the permits ran out. So our community development guys have been talking to the contractors that are doing the work, and it sounds like they're going to apply for these permits again in a couple of weeks, so that it sounds like maybe some work is going to start getting done again. Last time I drove by in the evening, the lights are on, so maybe something's happening.
Let's all hope so. To the police department we go. A couple items to update you on. The first is they were out golfing for a great cause at the course behind you. How did that tournament go?
Well, Brad Callio, who is our community service officer, arranged this night golf tournament. If you've ever played golf at night, it's really kind of funny. Well, we had a huge turnout. They made just about $5,000 on that tournament. So thanks to Brad for all the work he did, and all of the police officers that supported that, and the people that came out to play, and all of those sponsors. So thank you very much for all of that.
Another way the officers out in the community is through Meals on Wheels. What is happening with the deliveries here lately?
Well, that continues, and everybody that's getting a meal. So each cop that goes out, they deliver like 4 to 5 meals. And sometimes they're the same people, sometimes they're different ones, depending on the route they have. And the people that are receiving them are just excited to see those officers there. So we continue to do that with our community service projects.
One final note in police training is something that happens on a regular basis, and it looks like a number of staff people did some training in a variety of ways recently.
Well, our sworn staff, those are the ones that are the sworn officers. They've been doing they always do this training, but they've just completed their firearm and laser training and some force training. So we keep our our police department very well trained, because when we need them, we really need them, and they step up to the plate every time.
Next stop in the departments in the city of New Hope is Public Works. We've been talking about the utility bill certification, and that process sounds like it's coming to an end. What is the latest number?
It is. Today is October 10th, and there's a council meeting tonight. And at that council meeting, we will approve the certification of those bills that are past due. So something has been sent out to all the residents that have past due utility bills. And this is just water, by the way, and citations that the city has issued. So everybody's aware of how much they owe, and they have another week to get that money in without being fined and without it being certified onto their taxes. But it will get certified. The number started at 315,000. It's down to 229,000, which is still a lot of money. So, and the only way to get that is to put it on their taxes.
Okay. One other item under Public Works, citywide street sweeping is now underway. So you're cleaning up all the blocks in town.
We are. That is so hard to say, street sweeping. But the city does a lot of street sweeping before the company comes that we hire. Because as you know, all the leaves aren't down. So a lot of times we just need to get some of that heavier stuff picked up before the company comes through and picks up does the whole city. So watch for them to be doing that. If they're sweeping the streets, don't go behind them. Just carefully go around them. They're doing their job, and we want them to continue doing that in a safe manner.
Sounds good. Let's go to Park and Rec. A number of things happening here. We mentioned the success of the crime prevention golf. Here's another great success. The trick or treat event with a movie. Sounds like everybody turned out.
They did. They tell me they had over 150 registrants, and there were a bunch of kids and their parents that came, all dressed up, including the parents, in their costumes, and they walked around that beautiful trail around Civic Center Park, collecting candy and little spider rings and little other things that the different vendors were giving out. And then they had some food trucks there, so the parents just went to the food trucks, bought some dinner. The kids sat outside, had dinner, and then watched the movie. It was really a great event. So Aaron Thielen in our Park and Rec department pretty much coordinated that and did a fabulous job. Everyone had such a good time. And the witch did show up with her candy.
There we go. All right. Made everybody happy, I am sure. Other things in Park and Rec, thanks to some money from Hennepin County, it sounds like you've got some new things appearing in parks. Tell us more about what's showing up.
Well, concrete pads, bike repair stations in Hidden Valley Park. A lot of this stuff comes from Hennepin County Active Living. So we apply for grants all the time, and we use those grants to do those extra things around the parks that we might not be able to do if we didn't have the money. So Public Works has been helping putting in pads for benches, pads for these bike repair stations. It just the whole team is working together to get this done, and we save a lot of money by doing it in-house, and then we get the money back from these grants.
Another partner that the city is working with is the Three Rivers Park District, and it sounds like some work happening at Northwood Park. What are we seeing there?
Well, there's a regional park trail there. The Bassett Creek Regional Trail, and that is totally Three Rivers Park District. So they do all the work. They're fixing a pedestrian ramp that's in the park, and they're also putting in a bike repair station. That seems to be a real biggie these days.
Yeah.
So if you've got some trouble while you're riding on your bike, you can go to one of these repair stations, and if you're at least a little mechanical, which some of us are not.
You can get a little help there. Another partner helping out is Hennepin Youth Sports Facilities with a grant that's going to show up some dividends for people at the lighted field. Tell us more about that.
So we apply for any grant we can get. Well, Hennepin County Youth Sports has grants that they give out every year. And if your project is satisfactory, you get a grant money for that. So they're doing some work at Lighted Field. It's one of our few fields that actually has lights at night. And so we're getting some help with that. And it's coming from Hennepin County. So thank you very much, Hennepin County.
Let's look ahead to next year. We're talking about a lot that's happening right now, but next year already plans underway for Liberty Park. Tell us what might be happening at Liberty Park and how residents can get involved.
Well, 2023 Liberty Park is our park project for that year. And typically what we do is we send a survey out to neighbors, asking them to tell us what they want at the park. And then they have a couple of neighbor meetings. Now, those neighbor meetings are a great way for the kids to come in and tell us what they would like at the park. And it kind of teaches them how they can work with a budget, because of course there's a budget for that. And of course, everybody wants more stuff than the budget can afford.
Right.
And so the kids get an idea of how much money there is to spend and what they can get for that money. And then they basically pick out what they want at that park.
Now, this is a busy time of the year for trees to be going in the ground, thanks to a lot of people working on this project. Where are the trees showing up?
Well, emerald ash borer has taken a nasty, nasty turn in New Hope. And so this last week, they put in 20 trees around in the two parks that we have that we're taking them down. But the other thing that's happening is they're taking down boulevard trees. And you know they're going to do something, because the first thing they have to do is they have to identify where the utility lines are. And once that's identified, they certainly don't want to dig into some utility line. So they check where that is, and then they'll take that down. So to date, we've put in 82 trees, and we've got Public Works out there watering them to make sure they're getting ready for winter. They need a lot of water now because the ground is so dry. We want to make sure that they'll be able to survive the winter. So if you've got a boulevard tree and it hasn't got a big yellow dot on it, we don't know about it. So you should call City Hall and tell them you have a boulevard tree that's an emerald ash and you'd like it down. Okay. And somebody will come out and put a big yellow dot on it, so you know that something's happening with that tree.
Let's move over to the golf course. Again, a nice fall shot behind you of the course in action. And there's an event coming up soon here that people might want to get out and maybe get some end of the year competition in.
This is kind of a new event, and it's kind of exciting, actually. On the 15th of October, they're doing a 2-person best ball tournament there. So you can sign up. It's $10 if you're a season pass holder and $20 if you're not. You get a round of golf, you get lunch, and some prizes. And they've got 3 categories: a couples, men's, and the women's groups. So they'll have enough prizes in those groups. But it's just a nice way to end the golf season with a little tournament at the golf course.
Yeah, fun opportunity for people. Otherwise, I take it the golf course is into fall mode as well and doing quite a bit of cleanup work.
Oh, there's a lot of clean. Well, you know, all those pretty flowers die. And so they're out there with their little weed whip, cutting down all the hostas and cutting down the flowers, or pulling them out that have died, cleaning out the landscaping things for winter. So there's just a lot of stuff going on. And the other thing they have to do that isn't quite so pretty is they have to fix the irrigation system.
Okay.
Make sure that there aren't any leaks and it's blown out. And it's really kind of fun to watch them not fix the stuff, but to blow it out, because there's water flying everywhere. Well, they get they use air, they get all that water out of the system. So they'll be doing that shortly.
A lot of work that has to be done in fall. Down the block at the ice arena, a lot of activity happening there. We've got skating lessons, we've got open skating, we've got tryouts and teams playing. Tell us about the whole breadth of activity there.
You know, somebody, and I know who it is, schedules all this, and it's got to be just a nightmare, but they do a heck of a job at doing it. So there's open skating on Friday from 6:30 to 8, and on Sunday from 2 to 4. So you can go open skate, you can rent skates, you can have your skates sharpened if you'd like to do that. There are also the high school teams are having their practices now, both the boys and the girls, so they're practicing. Youth hockey is having their tryouts right now, so that's going on. And then there's the ice skating classes
Mhm.
from the 3-year-olds on up to the adults who are learning how to ice skate. So there's lots going on in that ice arena.
And the one part of the city that's not as much activity now, just some final cleanup, is the Aquatic Park. Still putting some final touches on it to put it to bed for the winter.
There's a lot to do. So they finally got the pool drained. And of course, once they do that, they have to clean it and they have to blow out the lines to make sure that that's good and ready for winter. And then they start winterizing the building and all the other stuff. They have to put away the chairs and they clean everything and get it put away. And it's pretty much going to bed.
One final note in Park and Rec is around CPR classes. You wanted to make a mention of some special classes coming up, and there's a couple different varieties of classes, I understand.
Well, now I didn't know this, but CPR to an adult, doing CPR on an adult is different than doing CPR on a child. And so they have 2 sets of classes. You have up until the 18th of October to sign up for one of these. And I don't know what the cost was, but the classes actually start on the 22nd of October.
Okay.
So if you've got children that you care for, or an adult that you may be interested in being some help, to sign up for that class.
Couple final notes to pass along. You've got a little pin on your shirt today. Tell us a little bit more about that pin and how others might be able to help participate in that activity.
What's called the Pink Patch Project. And it's a project with the police departments all over the country, as well as the African American Breast Cancer Alliance. And so any money that comes from the sale of these pins and patches goes to them. So you can buy a little pin like the one I've got on, or you can buy a bigger patch that you can sew on your jacket, and they're pink. And it's just, it's a way to support breast cancer.
Very good. Great opportunity for residents. Couple final notes to pass along. We want to mention coming up on October 27th from 5 to 7. It's City Day, and it sounds like lots of fun for all ages.
There is. So City Day is going to be inside this year from 5 to 7. So you can come inside the building, see all the things that they do. In the meantime, those big trucks are going to be all out in the parking lot. And they're going to have, after 7 o'clock, they're going to have the Trick or Trunk project going. A bunch of folks and the police cars are going to have their trucks open. Kids can go from car to car and get treats. And while you're in City Hall seeing all the other stuff, you can see the Colors of the World project. Our Human Rights Commission bought color crayons to give to the kindergartens in District 281. And the color crayons are skin tones of all the people in the world. So they've asked the kids to draw a picture of themselves with their friends or their parents or their guardian who's ever taking care of them in the color of their skin. And then we don't paste. We put those pictures all up in City Hall. So you can look at those pictures as well as going and seeing all the projects that are going on in City Day. So it's going to be just a fun day at City Hall that day.
It sounds like it. Again, October 27th, 5 to 7 p.m. Final note, get your calendars out for a December event that is coming up. A little change from past years, but good to have it back, at least in the area. What's happening with the holiday train?
Well, I asked about the holiday train, if it would be coming to New Hope, and it is not, sadly to say. The problem is it comes through New Hope right at the time the kids are getting out of school, and it's at a point where those buses have to get across the tracks to get those kids home. It just does not work for them to stop at the New Hope stop. So it's going to stop in Golden Valley at 4:45. You can go onto the online and look up holiday train. It'll tell you exactly where to go for that stop. So that's going to be the quote New Hope stop, if you will. It just can't stop in New Hope.
All right, it will draw a big crowd. And again, the city's website, newhopemn.gov. If you have questions about the train stop or any of the other items we mentioned today, go there. They've got all the answers. We've got some events coming up. You want to get your calendar out again to look at some of these events coming up in the community. But Mayor, thanks once again for your time today. Look forward to talk to you again next week.
See you, Dave. Have a nice night.
You too. Learn more about the connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.